Scripture would say the load will be made lighter and lighter, just like this right here. Note the difference when the burden's been lifted, the load being made lighter as a result. This vessel, it won't be so weighed down and heavy anymore. The result's the same with us today. He's the only one that can truly take these burdens away. But this isn't a vessel yet, although it looks a lot like one. I'm certain most of you have a pretty good idea what would happen to it if we tried to pick it up right now. It can be picked up. It'll come very close to collapsing. It just has enough strength to stand upon its own. Nothing much more than that at all. In order for this to become a useful vessel, it's vital that it would go through the firing process. And that's where I'll let it dry first. Then I'll place it in a potter's kiln. And I'm certain most of you already know what a potter's kiln is, but if you don't, they're just very large ovens you put the pottery into. I'll fire this up to a temperature into the oven to a little bit more than 2,000 degrees. At the height of that temperature, when it gets so hot it almost melts down, it just about gives up because it's going to barely be able to stand the heat that will come against it any longer. We go through the same in life today, though. We refer to them differently as the fiery trials and tribulations. But I believe as his people today, on occasions, we sometimes get to the point where we feel a lot like the clay, or we feel like we're about ready to melt down and we're just about ready to give up because we can barely stand the heat that will come against us any longer. All of us in life will encounter fiery trials and tribulations. Many of us will have to go through a great deal more than others. And it's difficult to understand sometimes why. Some people in life have to go through so much more than others. I know in our life there's going to be things that will happen to us from time to time I don't think we will understand. Many things will remain a mystery to us all. We just will not know until that day. But we can't give up our hope in him. No matter what the cost might be, that we would continue on. As the scripture would say too, let us hold fast to the confessions of our faith without wavering. When we come through the fire, we can have the assurance of knowing this one thing. We will no longer represent a vessel like this one here that at this point could easily be crushed down. No, when we come through the fire, really believe we'll come through the fire representing vessels like these here on the platform, where you see it's at the height of the temperature of over 2,000 degrees. These go through what we call a purification process. And that's where all of the tiny particles of clay will actually fuse together to become a solid rock. And on Christ, the solid rock, we do stand today.